Kia ora. Today we're going to be talking about the gourd or the hue and its many uses. So first we'll talk about the gourd and growing it, and then we'll talk about how the hue and that are used. So first of all, was bought from Hawaii, from our tupuna, over the oceans for its many uses. For our atua, here pu te hue, it's the atua of the hue, and obviously comes under rongo mātāne because it's a cultivated food, because you can eat it as well. So if we have a look on here, we see all these white flowers, and you'll notice with these white flowers that they actually open in the night time, and in the daytime they're closed up like this. It's afternoon time here, so these will start to open. They're opening in the night because they're pollinated by the moth, like most of our plants here in Aotearoa. And so that's a bit of a sign with that. One thing when you're growing them is you always want a place to climb up. They like to climb, good soil, and they need quite a bit of water. One thing when you're growing the hue is to remember that they have different families, so they're related to the pumpkin, squash, zucchini, cucumber. You can really tell by the leaves. They'll have similar looking leaves. And one thing to keep in mind is this hue here is from Hawaii, so this is quite a large hue. And if I want to keep the integrity of that seed, then I don't want to grow it around these other plants because it'll cross-pollinate and it'll become like a half and half. It's a real versatile plant, can be used for heaps of things. So with these, used for like floats for fishing nets, put up like that. All water, carrying water containers, other than a big kumete bowl, this is sort of your go-to, you're chopping the top off them and that. When you're growing them also, you want to be plucking off some of these flowers, and so that you're not growing gourds on every single, you're not growing too many to a plant. And the reason for that is just nutrients. If you've got heaps and heaps of gourds, you might think it's good now, but then it comes to harvest and you will get quite thin walls, and it might even get to the point where you can just poke your finger through. Where back in the day, your best gourds are the ones with your really thick walls, because that you can put water in. You can also use them for putting hot stones in, and cooking up rongoa, or doing like a boil up type thing. And you can put meat in there, layer it, and then put fat on top. That stops the oxygen, cuts that out, and then you have them as a preserving bowl as well. So lots there in the versatility. We also have all of our instruments. So for us, this one here is called a puruhou. Has that boom to it. This one here, it's got a hole in it, known as a puia whiwhiu. And those for you who know your birds in the bush will know that it sounds like one of our manu, one of our birds. But the original reason I done this video is somebody asked about a puruhou, and I thought, well, to learn about the puruhou, it's important to talk about the gourd first. So you have, as you have these big Hawaiian ones like this breed, you've also got very small gourds. And so some people think that, a small gourd is an immature gourd, but often it's the variety. Just like this one here. That's not a large and a small one, that's a different variety. So when we're making our puruhou, I've got a small gourd, and there it is there. Now what I've been told is that the puruhou is specifically related to the gourd, where if it's something else that's small and you play it with the nose, it's known as the pu tangi. So anything that is not a gourd, specifically a gourd. So if we're looking at that there, I've cut the end off, we're looking at that shape. It's not straight, it's on an angle. It's an angle cut. And if you're thinking about holding a bottle in the wind and the wind's blowing, and the way you hold on a certain angle, it'll catch the lip and it'll make a sound. It'll catch that wind. Now that's a similar angle that you're looking for when you're playing these, when we look at the Puruhou video, or we're looking at the puruhou. And the reason why we're cutting is just to help make that easier to make that angle, whereas if it's straight, slightly more difficult. So I'll show you, one finger's on the nostril, the other one comes up there. Another thing you can do is put a few holes in there, and that'll enable you to let the pitch change, go up, change the pitch as you're playing. So it'll give you more different melodies that you can play. So yep, that's it. That's our puruhou and our hue plant. If you have any questions and I can help you to answer them, just chuck it up there. Or if you have anything to add, that's good too. Always good to add more kōrero. Yeah, the hue plant.